Now I'm going to dice these potatoes. Who doesn't love potatoes? Another versatile root vegetable. And actually, it's surprising it has a lot of nutritional value. Niacin and magnesium, it's good for your bones. Carbs are one of the main nutrients you actually need. They get a bad rep though. But these red ones are really good too because they have added vitamins from the skin. So keep that skin on. And it also saves you some trouble. Now, your goal here is to try and get them all pretty much the same size so that they cook evenly, so that you don't have to keep taking them out, putting them back in. And then what we're just gonna do is drizzle some olive oil and sprinkle some salt and pepper and rosemary, which is such a delicious smelling herb, and it tastes great too. Okay, so just throw those on the pan. And by pan, I mean baking dish. And this is the fun part because you don't have to use any other tools but your hands, which is what I have heard from Giada De Laurentiis is one of the best tools. And it's natural. Isn't that the point of cooking? Okay, so I'm drizzling the potatoes with olive oil. Yum, yum, yum. Olive oil is so good for you. Okay, so we're gonna take one of the greatest ingredients ever, sea salt, and we're gonna just sprinkle that on top of our potatoes because salt is great for starch. It just brings out the flavor in everything. Don't get overboard though. And we're gonna put a little bit of pepper just for a little bit of spice. And rosemary. Now, rosemary is kind of a difficult herb to work with because it's tough, and you don't need that much of it. But if you use these techniques, which is like what I'm doing right now, I'm scraping it off a stem, and then just start chopping it. And you want this to be pretty fine because rosemary is so strong, and as I said, it's really rough. But again, we are not perfect, just looking for the delicious flavor that the rosemary provides. Okay, so we're gonna sprinkle the rosemary on top of the potatoes, and it will look so beautiful, I promise. You can already see the contrast from the green and the red and the white. All right, I'm just gonna chop a little bit more. Now, when I was working at the country club, they were hounds about how to use your knife properly. So I'm kind of an amateur at this, but after chopping 60 pounds of chicken in one day, I have a little bit of a leg up on the next guy. That was one of the rougher moments for me, but it was a good experience. The main thing you want to worry about when you're using a knife is just that you hold it like you're shaking someone's hand. You don't want to put your finger on top of the knife. But this isn't a tutorial on how to use a knife. This is a cooking show. So I'm going to drizzle more olive oil on top. And then we're going to take our spatula and we're going to mix this all together. Just want to coat all the potatoes in the olive oil and the salt and the rosemary. Okay, so we're gonna multitask. We're gonna do the carrots with the potatoes on the same pan. But we're gonna try and keep our herbs separate because these are supposed to be dill potatoes. Rosemary potatoes and dill carrots. So super simple again. Just plop the carrots right on the pan. I like to use organic carrots just because I find that the regular carrots kind of have pesticides. So that kind of makes it taste different actually, I think. But I know we're all college students and organic can be a little bit pricier, so don't worry about that. All right, so we have our dill. And this is fresh dill. I like it a lot better because it doesn't have as strong of a flavor, but I like the texture better and it's more, it just looks prettier. I guess that's what I'm going for. And I think it tastes better too. So we're gonna finely chop the dill. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And dill is a great herb. My family makes these amazing party pretzels, and don't tell anyone I told you this, but that's one of the secret ingredients. It really adds flavor, especially when you add it to like ranch dressing even. It's really good. All right, so there's our dill. I'm just gonna clean this up a little. And I'm gonna take my salt and just sprinkle that on top and drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and then I'm gonna stir that up also. Just so we incorporate all the flavors. And see that? Look how pretty it is. It's green and orange like the northern flag of Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. Now, all right, so this can go right in the oven. Again, it's 375, and we're gonna put it in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. And the cooking time might be a little bit uneven because we are dealing with the potatoes and the carrots on the same plate. So just continually check, but that's no problem at all. So this is our finished product, and you can see the potatoes are roasted. A good way to check if the potatoes are finished or not is just using a fork. A fork is a great way to test anything, really. And if it comes out smooth, then you're good. Also, taste it, it's delicious. And it is good. That's a good potato. You got the crunchiness of the sea salt with the rosemary and then the outer shell of the potato skin. So good. All right, so now I'm gonna take our chicken, which has been beautifully roasted. Look at that, yum, yum, yum. And we're just gonna plop that on our plate. I'm telling you, this is so simple. Normally my mom likes to cook the chicken in the oven, but that takes about an hour. It does make it a little juicier, but I'm kind of like in a rush right now because I've got to throw this St. Patrick's Day dinner party. Just kidding, but if I was, that's what I would do. All right, so here's our pesto. And you're just gonna plop it on top of the chicken like that. Cover the whole thing, yum. And it's kind of cool because you never know what you have in your pantry at the time. So like today I'm using cashews and it gives it a completely different flavor. And there's no cheese in it. But another day I might use pine nuts and baby spinach instead of basil. So feel free to be creative. Now we're gonna add our side dishes. Yum, yum, yum. And I've got some roasted potatoes, rosemary potatoes, yum, yum, yum. And some of those dill baby carrots. Who doesn't love potatoes, right? And that is your meal. Normally I like to spruce it up with some delicious looking herbs that are from our product. So I'm gonna add a little bit of basil on the top. Just to kind of trick the audience into thinking that a professional chef did this and not you in your own kitchen. Who would have guessed? The paper plate doesn't give it away. Okay, so there you have it. You have your St. Patrick's Day delicious meal. And now we're gonna try it. This is the fun part. So just cut your chicken. Yum, yum, yum. I'm so excited, and there's no one here to try and steal my chicken from me. That was really good. I've been transported to pesto paradise.